Victory is not always in the charge. Sometimes it is in the silence before the storm, in the stillness before the strike. The greatest warriors, the most brilliant strategists, and the wisest leaders have always understood this truth. To win, first retreat. Sun Tzu, the master of war, wrote, "When the enemy advances, we retreat. When the enemy rests, we harass. When the enemy is exhausted, we attack." His philosophy was not about brute force, but about patience, about knowing when to move and when to withdraw. A soldier who rushes forward without thought is a soldier who falls before the battle even begins. But one who steps back, who watches, who waits, that is the warrior who controls the battlefield. History has proven this time and time again. When Genghis Khan faced armies that outnumbered his own, he did not waste his strength in immediate battle. Instead, he lured his enemies deep into unfamiliar terrain, retreating, drawing them further, stretching their lines, weakening their resolve. And when they were at their most vulnerable, when they believed he had been driven away, he turned and struck with unstoppable force. Victory was not in the advance. It was in the retreat. This is not only the strategy of war, it is the strategy of life. The greatest minds, the most powerful figures, have all known when to step back. Leonardo da Vinci once said, "Every now and then, go away. Have a little relaxation, for when you come back to your work, your judgment will be surer." Even in creation, in art, in mastery, the retreat is necessary. A mind that is overwhelmed, a will that is unrelenting, will eventually collapse under its own weight. But a mind that steps back, that allows itself space, that knows when to withdraw, this is the mind that returns sharper, stronger, undefeatable. Modern life teaches the opposite. It tells you to push forward endlessly, to never stop, to grind until nothing is left. But look at the greatest thinkers of our time. Steve Jobs, who revolutionized technology, often disappeared into silence before returning with groundbreaking ideas. Elon Musk, before every major success, stepped back to rethink, to re-strategize. The greatest victories do not come from constant motion. They come from knowing when to pause, when to retreat, when to build power in the shadows before stepping into the light. So ask yourself, are you moving forward blindly, or are you stepping back with purpose? Are you exhausting yourself in a battle that demands patience, or are you watching, waiting, choosing the moment when your strike will be absolute? The retreat is not the end. It is the beginning of mastery, the beginning of the unseen victory, the beginning of a power that cannot be broken. A retreat is not surrender. It is a recalibration, a gathering of forces, a sharpening of the blade before the final strike. Those who do not understand this mistake movement for progress, noise for strategy, and persistence for wisdom. But true power lies in knowing when to withdraw, when to conserve strength, when to let the storm pass so you can emerge stronger than before. Miyamoto Musashi, the undefeated samurai, once wrote, "To know 10,000 things, know one well." He understood that mastery does not come from constant action, but from refinement, from stepping back to understand before stepping forward to conquer. A swordsman who swings wildly will be defeated by the one who studies, who waits, who learns his enemy's weaknesses before striking a single final blow. Napoleon Bonaparte, one of the greatest military minds in history, often feigned retreat to deceive his enemies. He knew that human nature is impatient, that the undisciplined would chase him without thought, stretching themselves thin, exposing their vulnerabilities. And when they believed they had won, when they had given everything in their pursuit, he turned and crushed them. His greatest victories were not in the charge, but in the deception of retreat. The same strategy applies to life. Those who rush into every challenge, who burn themselves out in constant struggle, often fall before they ever reach their true potential. But those who understand when to withdraw, when to step back and build their strength, are the ones who rise above the rest. Look at Warren Buffett, one of the greatest investors of all time. He does not chase the market blindly. He waits. He studies. He lets the world move in chaos while he retreats into thought, into calculation, and when the moment is right, he moves with absolute precision. This is the difference between those who achieve greatness and those who fade into the background. The undisciplined mind fights every battle it encounters. The master chooses which battles are worth fighting. The undisciplined mind fears retreat, believing it is weakness. The master knows that retreat is power, because it allows them to return stronger, smarter, invincible. Lao Tzu once said, "Do you have the patience to wait until your mud settles and the water is clear?" That is the ultimate test. Can you step back when the world demands you rush forward? Can you allow yourself to wait, to retreat, to gather strength while others exhaust themselves? Because the one who moves with patience, with wisdom, with the understanding that retreat is a strategy, not a defeat, that is the one who will stand victorious in the end. So now, look at your own battles. Are you fighting them because you must? Or because you fear stepping back? Do you understand the power of retreat? Or are you trapped in the illusion that victory is always in the charge? The answer will determine whether you move forward as a master or fall as a pawn. Here is a hidden truth that few ever grasp. The most powerful move is often not to advance, but to disappear. To step away from the noise, to withdraw from the battlefield, to become invisible until the time is right. This is the wisdom of the unseen, the strength of those who understand that patience is the greatest weapon of all. Julius Caesar, a master of strategy, once said, "It is easier to find men who will volunteer to die than to find those who are willing to endure pain with patience." Impulsiveness is common. Rushing forward, eager for battle, is the instinct of the untrained mind. But the wise endure, waiting through difficulty, through silence, through the long winter before the spring of victory arrives. This is the test that separates the great from the forgotten. In nature, the most dangerous predator is not the one that runs wildly after its prey, but the one that waits, unseen, silent, still. The eagle does not chase every movement in the sky. It watches, measuring the wind, tracking its target, and when the moment is perfect, it strikes with absolute certainty. This is the way of the masters, the way of those who understand that victory belongs not to those who fight every battle, but to those who choose their battles with precision. This is the wisdom of retreat. Not to give up, not to surrender, but to become fluid. To step back when resistance is too great, to conserve energy so that when the opportunity arrives, your strength is untouched, your mind is clear, your strike is final. The greatest entrepreneurs, the most influential leaders, have all understood this truth. They do not fight every battle. They do not waste energy proving themselves in meaningless conflicts. They step back, watch, learn, and when the world least expects it, they move, and they win. To win, first retreat. Step back to gain clarity. Step back to let your enemies exhaust themselves. Step back to gather knowledge, to sharpen your weapons, to prepare for the strike that will end the war before it begins. The mind that cannot retreat is a mind that will never master itself. The warrior that cannot wait is the warrior that will fall before the battle is truly fought. So now, look at your own life. Are you moving forward with purpose, or simply out of fear of standing still? Are you choosing your battles, or are you letting them choose you? Can you step back, hold your fire, let the world move around you while you wait for the perfect moment? Because that moment will come, and when it does, if you have understood the wisdom of retreat, you will move like the storm, like the flood, like the force that no one saw coming. And when you strike, it will not be with desperation. It will not be with uncertainty. It will be with the full force of one who has already won.